this is just really is going to be an interactive, discussion. I spent 23 years in the professional services business, and that was placing people throughout the U.S. and Europe in various information technology jobs. We did call centers and the like. So the call center that T.E.A has today, for example, I think about, I want to say 60 to 70% of the people, if they were hired in the last 5 years, they came through strategic staffing solutions. And that was a project that I was in charge of. So just by way of example of an employment experience, I give you that. So I'm not talking from a piece of paper or some lecture somewhere, but it's actual experience. And just wanted to share that little tidbit with you. Just a little bit about me. I am a Detroiter. I've been here all my adult life, public schools throughout Wayne State Public School. I currently live downtown. I've lived in Detroit all of my life, except for not maybe, actually 2 years I lived in Oak Park. I raised 2 daughters. One's 42, another one's 45, and I have 3 grandkids. So I've been around the block at least twice. And currently married, and like I said, live in downtown Detroit.
Recording in progress.
And retired from Strategic Staffing Solutions last year. And I've just been having a great time doing a lot of different things, working with Donovan and other nonprofits here in the Central Detroit area. So we're going to start with what is nailing the interview. As we go through this, okay, I don't expect for it to like you walk away with 15 things that you got to go and do, as much as walk away with one thing, okay, that you can take to an interview, okay, that you're going to practice, all right? And if you pick up more than that, that's great, all right? But at the end of the day, this is not teaching as much as, practical experience about things that, I've learned over the years. We're going to start with knowing a little bit about who's in the room, okay? As I stated, my name is Carl Bentley. My major skill is I'm going to have the skill of working with people to get the best out of them from a skill set standpoint, and assisting them with applying it to be better in their life. That's my major skill. And what do I like to do? My most enjoyable thing to do is play golf, travel, and then play golf.
I was going to say,
I played 3 times.
Okay, it worked for me.
Yeah, I love to play golf. Donovan knows that. So let's start with you. Tell us who you are, what's your skill, and your most enjoyable thing.
I'm T.E.A. Johns. I'm a mobility coach here at Cox. I also have my own business at 3 Phases School of Manners, Etiquette, and Protocol. Traveled the world over 25 years teaching etiquette. I love what I do. My skill. I call myself a gardener. I love to plant seeds of hope. I think that just comes natural. I believe in talking and connecting and building relationships with people. And in that relationship, I think I just kind of inspired them to want more. My goal is to get you to be your end result right now. You don't have to wait. Be it right now and make it manifest. What I enjoy doing, just being.
Yeah.
Just making people happy, right? Just be happy in the moment.
Next to you, young lady.
I don't know if I'm ready for that part.
Okay, my name is Cynthia Talley. I have many skills. I'm good at helping. I'm good at helping and volunteer.
Good.
And my most enjoyable thing is, I guess, being with people. I'm a people person. Celebrate, sorry.
My name is Christina House. I can say my skill is detail. I know I like my art, I like design and stuff, so I like to get creative with food and certain things. The most enjoyable thing I like to do is be with a family, basically. Like, being with family, like movies, hanging out with family.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Nefertiti, and my key skill is I think I adapt to my surroundings well. Like no matter where I'm at or who it is or whatever background, I feel like I can always mesh well with my surroundings. My most enjoyable thing to do, I'm a chef, I do meal prep, I do catering, and I'm an artist. And my most enjoyable thing to do is my art. I love painting. It's like I escape into a whole different world. I love colors, shapes, and strokes, and textures, and all that stuff. I love my art.
Yeah. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Alexandra. I'd say one of my key skills would probably be communicating with those around me. And I enjoy painting, and I also enjoy reading and writing.
Right. Ma'am?
Hi, my name is Teresa Marshall. My skills, I love listening to others. And I love to listen to music.
Hi, my name is Shoshana Simpson. Yes. My special skill is teaching. I'm a special education teacher. That's my joy. From kids, I've been a fifth grade math teacher. I've been a high school math teacher. Tutoring is my passion. Enjoy that the most at Job Corps. Tutoring, just teaching basic skills to people, and it was my joy. Like, that's my joy. I love to be, as she said, family, like just people, and don't that you make them your family. Going here, let's go here. It don't have to cost nothing. It don't have to just being. I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
I'm old.
Yeah.
So I just want to wake up and go to sleep.
Good for you. Yes, ma'am.
And I'm Angela Ade, and I'm program manager for Teach, Empower, Achieve. I could say that my key skills, which just really encompass who I am, is I'm a great advocate for people. I'm a voice to the voiceless. I'm a fighter for the individuals who can't speak up or don't have a voice or don't know how to voice themselves. And I just love to be a part of making the world a better place. And so for me, that's sort of like my passion, my work, everything that I encompass. And then personally, I'm a professional singer, so I love music. And I play guitar and keyboards and stuff like that. And I love music, so you'll find me on stage around a lot or in the background. Yeah, so that's me.
Awesome.
We do have one person. We have Erica. We have Erica that's here. We have Erica.
Oh, this is my phone.
Oh no, somebody's trying to come in. Oops, sorry. That's the way to go.
This is Madison. That's Carl.
Oh, that's your phone.
I don't want to like answer it.
Get canceled.
Erica. Erica? Can you hear me, Erica? If you could come off mute and can you introduce yourself?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Erica. Thank you for joining us. We're just going around the room and we're doing introductions. We'll introduce yourself, your key skill, and your most enjoyable thing to do.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Erica McKinstry. My key skill, I would say communication. I like to communicate and also teach. My most enjoyable thing to do will be, I would say, overall creating. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I'm also going back to school to teach cosmetology so I can teach what I love to do.
That's fantastic. That's good to hear, Erica. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Looks like we have one more person. It says iPhone user, but I recognize that. Is that Alex that just joined us?
Yes, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing this morning, Alex?
Yes, I'm actually about to walk in the elevator and I have my daughter with me. I really wanted to listen in.
Okay, that's fine. Just put yourself up. That's fine. Did you want to do a quick introduction though, since you're already on here?
Sure.
Okay, so we're doing the introduction of your name, your key skill, and your most enjoyable thing that you like to do.
The most enjoyable thing I like to do, I love to spend time with my 1-year-old daughter. My best skill I have is I'm a people person. You know, I can pretty much conversate with the president or I can conversate with a homeless person. I love people. I love to learn. And I love life.
Thank you for sharing, Alex. Thanks for joining us too, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, thank you all for doing that. Are you joining us, or?
Oh, I'm just observing.
You're just observing? Okay. Thank you all for doing that. The most important thing in an interview is being comfortable. And by doing just that little skill, okay, I think kind of opens up the door for you all to be comfortable and open to hearing what I'm about to say or impart on you, if you will. So thank you for doing that. Okay, so today we will review prepare for the interview, and post-interview. And I got some slides that go with each one of those. Is there anything else that anyone wants to talk about that you don't think will be in one of these topics? No? Yeah, okay, good. So, prepare for the interview. A lot of people don't take advantage of this. Today's world of access to everything, okay, is your platform to always be able to nail the interview. You just got to take a little time, okay, hop on your phone, your laptop, your child's Nintendo, because they get the internet now, and just do just a tiny bit of research, okay, on the company, the position, and who isn't on Facebook these days? I mean, I know it's old, but there's so much information that you can gather about, if you know the person's name, okay, on Facebook, pull them up, see what they like to do, you know, see what type of food they like to eat. You know, all that's possible. So when you're researching a company, okay, make sure you go to their website, understand, you know, what they do, how they do it, how long they've been in business, who are some of the key players in the company, and more importantly, what industry are they serving? Are they serving, you know, nonprofits? They're serving the trucking industry. They're serving automotive industry, or just service in general. But understand what it is that they are servicing. From a position standpoint, pay attention to how your skills, okay, align with what the position is asking for. It may ask for, you know, you to, I don't know, I think this young lady said she's a chef, okay? So prepping meals, okay, that requires, you know, some type of detail, some type of creativity. So it might be an opportunity where you're applying for a job to work in an art gallery or something. And that creativity applies, I think, okay, to a position, you know, in that area. So understand what your skills are and take some notes about how you can take those skills and move them into the job that you are applying for. This next one, develop an elevator pitch. You might know what that is? You do? Tell me what it is.
An elevator pitch is like a quick intro or like a quick little comment that you can have, and they call it like an elevator pitch because it should be short, it should be simple, like if you got on an elevator and got back on.
Yep, perfect. Thank you for that. It should include your name, your special skill, and just for fun, something enjoyable. I mean, that's something that, again, opens you up, okay, to receive information as well as impart it on another individual. So, develop that. If you got to write it down, write it down. Even record yourself saying it, but it should be something you can repeat over and over again. The next thing is write down the questions that you're going to ask, okay, in the interview. Because you're going to look at this job description, you're going to understand, you know, what it is that they are looking for, and you're going to match your skills to that, and then there's got to be gaps, okay? So what are those gaps? Write them down. And we went over the person that you're interviewing. Look on LinkedIn, Twitter. I mean, I Google names. I just go into Google or go into whatever the other product is, and just type in, Carl Bentley. Now, don't do this on me, please. Sometimes, images come up and, some of their, past activity, you get a chance to see who the person is, okay? So you walk in the building, okay, you know who you're looking for.
So I'm not nosy?
Yes.
I'm not nosy?
No, you're not.
Okay.
No, you're not.
I feel better.
No. You're not nosy. You're preparing yourself.
Okay.
And more importantly, okay, I want you to hold on to this word, you're being comfortable. You're setting yourself up for comfort. Being interviewed is being comfortable. Because the moment that you get all nervous and tense, okay, you say something that you shouldn't have, and you think about it more, okay, you take yourself out of the interview into another world, and you're not present. Don't do that to yourself. Be comfortable. Okay. Another part of preparing for the interview is practice. I know people, you probably heard this before, okay, that you should practice for your interview. And a lot of people don't take it serious. I think you should. Because this is an opportunity that you are trying to get for yourself, and if you don't put any effort into it, okay, why should you get it? So, practice and review. Now, this one here, select an outfit to impress. You don't want the interviewer to judge you when you walk in. I mean, that is automatically, okay, I don't care how present you are or how comfortable you are, you will be judged. That's right. Okay? So make sure that you're wearing clothes that, fit the job or fit the job above the job that you're trying to get. Okay? I have a handout that I'll share with you all for what that should look like. And I put select outfit to impress, all right? We're not going to the club. We're not going to the family reunion, you know? So we're going to work somewhere, okay? So you're not impressing at the club, you're not impressed at the family reunion, you're going to impress at the job. Know where you're going. If you need to, you know, take a trip down or have someone drive you down, and, you know, find out your path. Because a lot of times when you're going to a new place, okay, you don't know where you're going to park. You don't know how far you got to walk. All of that, okay, comes into play, okay, from a preparation standpoint. So know where you're going. Make copies of your resume. A lot of people show up and they just, you know, walk in and, you know, I'm here. And the person goes, okay, Carl, do you have a resume? And then I go, oh, I forgot it. Strike one. Okay? I talked about earlier, review and identify skills that were transferred. This next one, review gaps in resume, practice your response. Everybody doesn't have a spotless career. It doesn't, I mean, some people do. But sometimes things happen where you have to be off for a while. It could be medical, it could be family, it could be just, you know, you not having a situation where you could work, but you did something during that time. So don't get stuck with, okay, you left this job in September of 2019 and you didn't start work again. Your next job started in 2021. What did you do between that time? And here you go, taking yourself from the interview to some place, trying to figure out what to say. Don't do that. Have it written down already. Or practice it. Know what you're going to say. And if you're going to tell a little, you know, fudge it a little bit, write it down so you can remember it. So you're not, you know, like trying to remember what it is that you came up with. So have that, you know, written down. And I put here, you know, prepare the elevator pitch. I want to go back to making sure that you identify what your unique skill is and be able to articulate that, okay? This next one, identify and write down why you're unique, be qualified for the job. There may be one or two things that you know for sure that you can do in this job description. Write those down and repeat those. Because inevitably somebody's going to ask you, okay, the interviewer might ask you, so why are you qualified for this job? Let's not think about that. Already know. Already know what it is. And of course, all the research information that you collect, make sure you go through it and review it again. Okay, the interview. So, and I put up here, you know, plan to arrive 30 minutes early on the, you know, prepare part. You know, anywhere from 30 to 15 minutes I think is appropriate. Some people think 30 minutes is a little early. I don't. I think, again, you got parking you got to be concerned with. Who knows? You might get a Suite 101 versus Suite 112. It might be a typo or something. And then, you know, you run the chance of being a little late. So don't try to get there. The interview's at 11 o'clock. Don't try to get there at 10:55. interview's at 11 o'clock, you need to be there at 10:30. You need to plan to be there at 10:30. So all your planning is 10:30, not 11 o'clock. The interview. Calm, concise, and composed. One word that I didn't put there that I'm going to say is be present. Be in the room. Be in the interview. Don't be thinking about what you did last night, or what you got to do when you go home, or where the kids are they in school, you know, with a boyfriend or girlfriend. Don't think about any of that. Be present. That's going to get you calm, it's going to get you concise, and you're going to be composed. You walk in, you want a firm handshake. I know COVID, people don't shake, you know, so the polite thing to do is, do you prefer a handshake or just a hello? And be polite about it. Be respectful. The key thing here, I think, if you're not doing a handshake, make sure you get good eye contact. Get that eye contact. That's so important. You guys have heard the saying, right? Eyes are the windows of the soul. Have you heard that before?
It's true.
Isn't it true?
Yes.
And when you get that eye contact, you're there. You're present. You got that person. And they start rolling around their eyes, okay? They'll bring it back because they know you're serious. And that's what you want. I put here, be respectful. It's going back to the handshake and COVID and whatnot. You know, understand the surrounding, all right? And don't be disrespectful about the individual. Try to be in their space and be respectful of their space. You know, one thing that a note that I thought about later was, I usually, especially when I go into a place that I'm not familiar with and I want to be comfortable, I usually take a bottle of water with me. This is my safe space. When I'm uncomfortable about saying something, or uncomfortable about where I am or how I'm going to answer the question, I pick up my water and take a drink of it. That just gave me about 5 seconds to collect myself. Yes. Right? It works. If you don't have water, take coffee, juice, or something. But whatever you feel isn't going to be a distraction, okay, to the person that's talking to you. All right, think about that. And water is good for you. Yes?
Will they let you have something like that in the interview, though?
Yes.
Will they let you know?
They should. I mean, you walk in with it, they'll tell you. If you're not sure about it, ask a question. When a person interviews you, brings you in, you know, say, is it okay if I have my bottle of water with me?
Okay. Thank you.
Be engaging. In other words, you know, when they walk in and say, hello, you know, Carl, you're Carl Bentley. Yeah, that's me. I mean, don't say yeah. Say yes, sir, or yes, ma'am, Mr. X. I'm Carl Bentley. If your research that you kind of, you're in a person's office or, you know, their workspace, and they might be a golfer or, you know, something in the room that gives an indication about some of the research that you've done, ask a question. I see you like golf. I see you like baseball. Or, were you in the World Series? I mean, on that research that you kind of was being nosy about. Be engaged as much as you can. The last thing here that I want to point out is have your notebook with you, okay, like you have today, and ask, is it okay if I take notes? So you want the person to know that you're serious again, okay? All these are, you know, setting you up to be present and be serious about what it is that you're trying to do, and that is get a job, okay, so you can take care of your family.
Mr. Carl,
Yes,
if
ma'am.
you don't mind, just when you finish wrapping up with the interview portion, can we just have 2 minutes just to work out these Latins, one small key for those in week?
Yeah.
We need a 2-minute intermission. if you don't
Okay,
mind.
all right, no problem. All right, do that. You tell me when you want me to stop,
When
okay?
you finish with the interview portion, then
Okay.
we'll take that, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Answer questions with previous experience. Don't try to make something up. If you do, it's a note that you're reading, not a, I think, I'm reading, how to answer this question because this is my experience that I want to talk about. Because you've done your research, you've looked at the job description, so you know what the question, or have a pretty good idea of what the question is going to be. Keep answers direct and short. There's no quicker way for you to be told no, and you go into an interview and you start rambling. That's a big old X, and once you start doing that, your eyes start rolling, you start looking away, okay? You start thinking about the girlfriend, the boyfriend, you're trying to talk, and it's just rambling. So, keep your answers direct and short. And again, go back to address the gaps in the resume. If you see the person, is looking at your resume or get to the gap piece, hey, Mr. X, I just want you to know that, during that period, that year and a half, I was at home taking care of my mom. My mom had an illness, and that was my job. So one of the skills that I bring, okay, is attentiveness, because I had to do that, take care of my mom. If there's an opportunity presented, make sure you use your elevator pitch and use examples of skills used in the job description. Your questions that you've written down, pull it out. Mr. X, is it okay if I ask you a couple of questions that I prepared to ask you today? Because one thing that people fail to realize is not only are they interviewing you, but you're interviewing them. You're deciding whether this person is someone that you want to spend 8 hours a day with, okay, or sometimes 10, whatever it is, all right? So one of your questions might be related to that. So be prepared to ask that. Have it written down, though. And finish it up with ask when you should follow up. And I caution people about this all the time, but we don't always hear it. You already know what the job pays, all right, before you got there. So don't ask the question. Don't ask the question. Let them tell you. Let them tell you what it is. If it doesn't come up, guess what? When you get your offer letter, it's going to be in there. And that's when you address it. But don't ask the question. This is one that I'm a little, I tell people this, okay, and some people get a little nervous about it, but I think it works if you say it properly. And it goes like this. Mr. X, I really want to work here. Is there anything for you anything else that I can share with you that would help you make the decision that I'm the right person for the job? You got to be prepared to say that, and you got to say it with confidence and eye contact. Write it down and read it. It works. Go on to the next slide, post-interview, which I think is as important as the interview itself. A couple of people asked about the presentation, so you take one.
Yes.
And pass it out.
Thank you, sir.
And for those on the phone, Donovan, I'll leave it to you to figure out how to get it to them. You okay
Yep,
with
we'll
that?
make it available to them so they can download it from the T website.
All right, Good deal. So, post-interview. It's just as important as the interview itself, and even more important because now you have more information, okay, about what the job is, okay, who it is that you're going to be working for, and how you feel about it. So the first thing that I recommend you do after the interview is self-reflect on how the interview went. And what I mean by that is simply, it's funny, I shared this with my wife last night because I practice. And she was like, well, what does self-reflect mean? And what it means is, I mean, how did you feel? You felt good, but why? What was that good like? You felt like this person was someone that you can learn from? You felt like this was something, a place where, you know, you're going to feel comfortable coming every day? Did you like the drive in or the bus ride in or whatever, you know, you took to get there? I mean, all of those are reflections of how you felt about the interview. Write it down. And don't do anything with it right away. Let it sit. It's kind of like marinating a steak. I know the chef over here knows about that. The longer it sits in that those seasonings, the better it is for you, right? So write it down. Put it aside. Go about doing whatever you're going to do. And come back to it. And then look at it again. And now compose your thank you note. And that thank you note really is you expressing the gratitude for the interview. And maybe one of those things that you wrote down about how you felt, the bus ride was pleasurable coming in. I can see myself doing that every day. Again, these are little nuggets, okay, that shows that you're present and this is a place where you want to be. Keep it short. If there's any gaps, you know, as you're doing that self-reflection, if there's any, you know, he asked me about, you know, how old my kids were. Maybe you don't want to put that in there, but maybe he asked, or she asked, how was the bus ride? And you respond to that in the thank you note. Right. And answer any concerns, address any concerns that you may have. You know, like maybe he said, or she said, the hours are flexible from 8 to 10. You arrive and, you know, you got to work 8 hours, so now you 5 to 7 is your work hours. Maybe you don't want that. Maybe you want a direct 9 to 5. In your thank you note, say, I know you said that you have flex hours from 8 to 10. I prefer to do 9 to 5. Is that okay with you? Address, you know, those types of concerns. Any questions? Because that's it. I am done with my thoughts. I ask you to give me your feedback or any questions that you might have, and I'll do my best to try to pull on my experience and share it with you.
Recording in progress.
Anything else? Donovan?
Carl, have you seen different type, oh, let me rephrase it. What are some of the types, if any, of different interview formats that you have seen over your career? Have they always been the same type of interview formats?
No. There's one-on-one, there's group, there's Zoom. Oh, let me address that. Thank you for, I just want to talk about the Zooms. okay? If you do a Zoom interview, please get in a quiet room. All right, if you gotta go in your bathroom, okay, and put the filter up there, do it. Don't have your kids running around in the background, your dog barking, the bird chirping, you know, the rap music playing, yeah. Get in a quiet place. I had a guy tell me one time, and this is recent, of course, I was interviewing him, and he said he was in his closet. I didn't know that. He was in his closet. He wanted to make sure, and it was quiet. So be mindful of that, because it's like your dress, you're being judged.
Can I add to that,
Yeah.
sir?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, I'm so happy this came up. So we have our Zoom etiquette, so we actually go over on some of our group meetings with the, we work with that guy's fancy. And so a couple things. If your home situation is not where you can have quiet, because we know some of us are in a growth stage, some
Right.
challenges, then there's some places to go, make that effort. A lot of libraries have private rooms, the public libraries, and even the school libraries, and you don't have to be a student. You don't even have to get into all of that. You can make an appointment. Wayne State is a perfect example. Huge library, and they have a lot of private study rooms. You can go in one of those. Okay, so just know that effort. If the home situation is not conducive, find somewhere else to go.
Yep.
Another thing, make sure you still are dressed appropriately. Even though it's only from here up, you want to still have on a nice blouse, you know, a blazer, some pearls, something to still show you being professional, even though you're on Zoom. Hair should be together, okay? No hats, no bonnets, stuff like that. We want to have our hair together. I am not saying you have to have a $500 wig.
No.
That's not what I'm saying.
No.
Right. I'm saying even if it's just back in a nice ponytail, a nice bun. It's just about being presentable, okay? Make sure your name is displayed properly on the Zoom. You could have been
Not poopy.
Exactly. Okay, so you want to be, all those little things there, they are paying attention. Also, log on a few minutes early. So if you have a connection issues or anything like that, it doesn't make you late on the Zoom. That Zoom etiquette is huge now.
Yeah.
Okay, whether it's school for the kids or adults with jobs. And just like how you present yourself in person, it matters how you present yourself virtually.
Yes.
Okay, work with your coach. If you need to come up with somewhere to go for that interview, we can help you. Especially you all are, you know, working with us with T. You're welcome to come here to COTS. We have even right there, that's a library. That's why I moved them in there. They were having a conversation. We have other private spaces, so we will help you. Just reach out and we'll assist you so you can make a good impression even virtually, okay?
Good point, thank you for that. Go ahead, yeah.
I just wanted to add to what Ms. Walker was saying. Another thing is to have a professional email address.
Yes.
So once the job sends you the link, that email address should be professional.
Yeah, not poopy at love.
Yes.
Gmail.com.
I have one question. Now that I'm seeing more applying for jobs more, I'm noticing that they're not just now asking just for your resume. Now we're asking more for a cover letter now. How do you go about these cover letters? Like, what advice do you have about these cover letters?
Very good question, and I recommend that first off, you know, do your research, okay? And your cover letter should just simply, you know, state, you know, came across this job, and whatever, okay, you come up with, on the internet, Indeed, what have you. My name is Carl Bentley. I'm seeking an opportunity for job ABC, okay? My skills are, pick, no more than 3, okay? I like to suggest people say 2, okay, that relate to the job description, okay? And I'm looking forward to having an opportunity to interview. It doesn't have to be long, drawn out, and retracing your resume, okay? Just get to the point, what you want, how you come about seeing the opportunity, who you are, what skills will be valuable to them, and ask for the interview.
Also, like, is there another form of cover letter, like, other than you just have to constantly say, I applied for this project management job. Okay, they want a cover letter, but also I want a cover letter that's going to stick with me where I can be able to travel with it for different jobs, not just this one job.
That's going to be difficult because each job is going to be different, right? Because you want to address in your cover letter, okay, what the job description is, okay? So if it's project management, okay, there's construction project management, there's bookkeeping project management. I mean, there's all types of project management jobs. So in your cover letter, you want to address what the skill set is, the value skill set that you're going to bring, to the job. So it can be generic, that piece, but the specifics, okay, to the job should be it. Okay?
Mr. Bentley?
Yes.
Can you address on how individuals might answer more sensitive interview questions, especially that pertains to criminal background issues, felonies, even misdemeanors? A lot of employers, I know there's laws surrounding what employers can ask, but if you have a felony, they can ask you directly. How do you navigate those kind of questions, or do you have some advice for them on the best way to go about that?
Great question, and did my wife text you? Sure.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you for bringing it up. The best way I recommend that you answer it, just go back to what I wrote down, and that is, be direct. Don't try to avoid it. Have your answer already written down, okay? And I mean, people make mistakes all the time, okay? And some of us get punished for it in different ways, okay? It happens. I heard a guy on the radio this morning. He had been in prison for 40 years. He got out, and one thing that he said was, I spent 40 years with guys living through repeating the worst day of their life over and over again. How powerful is that? So, yeah, it is. So, to answer your question, okay, I think the best way to say is, we had a situation, I was in a situation, and this happened. Okay, you ain't got to go into the gory details, okay? I paid my time, all right? Back, ready to be a contributing adult in, into society. I mean, just close it out right there. Because you ain't got to go into the gory details, okay? But you should address it. But have it written down. Go back to what I said earlier. Write it down, okay, so you can, you ask a question, I would say back to you, Miss X, give me a second, okay? I'm prepared to answer that question. Look at my notes, okay, and read it. Don't try to do it off the cuff. Be prepared to answer the question.
And she'll understand that you were prepared for her or
Yes.
him to ask that question.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd like to also add one more thing too about anybody who has criminal background. There's lots of new legislation, lots of new things that are happening in that space. Employers are being held accountable more for making hiring decisions just based off if a person has a felony or not. And they can't do that. They have to have a legitimate, reason. I mean, the felony has to be associated with the type of job that you're doing. So for example, if you were caught, stealing, then of course they're not gonna, they are justified in not hiring you to run their cash register. If you're going to work in a plant somewhere, off in the tulips and you're, I don't know, just doing some simple Simon stuff that's not related to, then it's not relatable, so they don't have a, justification. Also, expungement laws are becoming a lot more flexible. You used to be only could have one felony, and then they would consider you for expungement. Now it's like a felony and some misdemeanors. If you go on the, if you got convicted, or if any of you, I don't know if you have or haven't, but if you've gotten in any trouble here in Michigan, misdemeanors or arrested or whatever, go and run your iChat through the Michigan State Police website. It's $10. Run your iChat and see what's on there, because a lot of times if you're arrested, even if the charges were dropped, that will stay on your record, and you literally have to go through a whole big drama challenge in order to get that off. So it's best to start doing that work now. Just go on to the Michigan State Police iChat website and check out and make sure and run a check on yourself. Because even if you were arrested, I mean, it's crazy. And you know how a lot of times they'll charge you with a felony.
Right.
So it'll be as if the employer runs the iChat and it looks as if you have an open felonious charge on your record that you haven't been convicted, but it still is a bad look. And that should not be on there if the charges were dismissed. So make sure you know your rights. If you have a background, make sure you know your rights and you're informed. And make sure that you understand that just because you have a felony or a misdemeanor, it doesn't mean that you don't have value, and it doesn't mean that you can't contribute to an employer. Because some of the best people I've ever worked with have felonies, have been incarcerated. They're good people, they just made mistakes. We're all human, so I just want to encourage you.
She's definitely onto something when she said go onto the iChat. The organization I worked for before I came here, I was over running iChat for anybody that came into the organization. And this particular lady was coming in with her family, and it was some stuff on iChat. She's like, that's not me. So it made her aware that someone was using her identity. We couldn't let her in until she proved that, but yes, and it's only $10. It's only $10. I still, every now and then, I go and run my stuff through iChat.
So that being said, that goes back to the research. Be prepared. Being prepared. So if you have that, a challenge, you made a mistake, okay? Be prepared to answer it. And this young lady gave you a great resource, her, to help you, be prepared to deal with that. And that's the other thing that I want to share with you. Don't be bashful about asking for help. Please. I recommend to anyone, if you've got a question and you don't have, start asking people. Because if they don't have the answer, they might know somebody that has the answer.
Exactly.
Right. I love what LaTanya said about reaching out to your coach, reaching out. We're right here in the front lines with you. I'm a coach too, even though I'm a program manager, I'm a coach too. So if you need any kind of assistance, even if you have a felony, you want to know if you're eligible for expungement, reach out to one of us. If we don't have the answer, we definitely are tapped into the community and we can find you the answers. And a lot of times these services are free. They're completely free. They don't cost anything. People think they have to pay thousands of dollars to get felonies expunged, or they have to go through all this extra. That is not the case at all. It's totally free. Any kind of challenges, barriers, things that are going on in your universe, even if it's not necessarily work related, but you got a personal thing like a transportation barrier or a daycare barrier or whatever the case may be that's precluding you from getting to where you need to be your best you. Reach out to your coach. You would be really surprised about the kind of resources and who we know. So don't be shy.
There's lots of help out there, but it doesn't fall in your lap, okay? Just like the job didn't fall in your lap, all right? The offer letter didn't fall in your lap. I mean, none of that falls in your lap. You got to reach for it. you have something else?
No, not to interrupt, but I have to go. I have 4 different meetings up at the school today, so me and Ms. Marshall would love to stay, but I'll connect with y'all one-on-one later on. Y'all know, I'm blowing your phones up, so look forward to it.
All right. Thank you. And Ms. Marshall, now I don't have an eye. You're not my, I don't have a target now. She does get out there. Thank you for keeping me on point.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Thank you for bringing the Zoom up. It's a great point. You know, there's a lot of opportunities out there, but they don't just show up on your doorstep. They don't come in your mail. They don't come in your email. Sometimes they do, but you got to read it and open it up.
Yeah, you gotta
and then you got to apply yourself and do the research. You know, understand what it is that you're getting into. Know as much as you can about the individual that's interviewing or the organization. You know, getting back to Donovan's question about, you know, the various settings. You know, there's one-on-one. There's a Zoom that we talked about. There's a group, you know, interview. If you have a chance when the interview, when they're setting the interview up, ask that question: am I interviewing with Mr. X, or am I interviewing with a panel? It's okay for you to ask that. All right, and my recommendation for a panel, okay, usually they have the place where they want you to sit. Try to make sure you're sitting in a spot where you can see everybody, not, you know, somebody on the side or behind you or what have you. Try to sit in a spot, pick a spot in the room where you can see everybody. And sometimes they say, well, sit wherever you want to sit, okay? Make sure you position yourself. If you need to scoot back a little bit so you can see everybody. Don't get crouched up. Now, I don't know what they're doing over there, you know. So make sure you position yourself best. Interviewing is you know, it's a nervous time because you are making a change. And hopefully everything I talked about today positions you to get comfortable with that change. Because change is uncomfortable. There's a quote. I pick up these quotes. I put them down in my the CEO of IBM. And that's a big company. But this lady, she came from very humble beginnings. Jeannie Rometty, and she wrote a book. Don't know the name of the book, but one of her quotes is, "Growth and comfort do not share the same space."
That's good. That's good.
You're interviewing, you're growing. You're out of your comfort zone just a tad bit, okay? But you can get there by being present. If you're comfortable, you're probably not growing as much as you want to. You're growing, but not as much as you want to. Think about that. Did I go where you needed me to go?
Excellent, sir. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Y'all need to think about this when you were talking about the email. So this is something small, but it's important getting to the interview or when you're there. When you're in the interview, make sure your phone is on silent.
Yes.
So that might seem small, but your phone going off shows like not being prepared, not taking this seriously. A lot of times our ringtone is a song. Next thing you in this serious interview, and next thing you know, it's like, so Always
Beyonce's on.
Yes.
Put a ring on it.
Exactly.
That's the boyfriend calling.
Your ringer is off, and that's the case whether you're in person or virtual, because it's still a distraction if you're going off on virtual. The other thing is related to the phone and your email. If you are looking for a job, right, this is the time in your life where you have resumes out there, you know, applications, different things, then you need to be checking your voicemail, your email every single day.
Yeah.
So I have had several cases where ladies, we've sent them leads. Sometimes we even set up the interview, right? And then what happened? Oh, I didn't see it. But you're looking for a job. So that should be part of, when you looking for a job is a job.
Yeah.
So you should be checking. When I was looking for a job, I was checking my email every week.
You know that's right.
Because I'm moving
Yeah.
fast. And you know, even though right now we are struggling in the job market with getting candidates, but it can be the opposite, especially depending on the job. They have a lot of candidates.
Yeah.
So you don't respond by tomorrow, they already set up an interview with 3 other people. Now they done with that.
Yeah.
So you should be checking your voicemail and your email every single day if you are looking for a job. Probably a couple times a day, morning, afternoon, you know, so that you can catch it fast. I also sometimes hear the lady say, I don't answer numbers I don't know. Now some people feel that way. But if you're looking for a job, you should be answering. You're not going to know their number, right? So something that small, you can miss an opportunity. Be careful how you answer the phone as well, okay? So I see it all the time. Who this? What's up? Speak. And this is a job calling. You turn them off in 5 seconds. You know they say people judge you the first few seconds.
That's right.
And then after that, it's hard to change.
That's right.
So I know I'm out here now, even though I do have a job or a career at this point, but I have a lot of opportunities, a lot of connections, a lot of different things going on. So I do answer phone numbers I don't know. I also have a whole lot of sweet peas that I love. And sometimes they call me in trouble. I got to answer the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm conscious of how I answer the phone. Because I might not have job applications out there, but I have grant applications out there, business things I'm working on. So I'm not trying to mess up, you know, this deal because I'm answering the phone with an attitude or whatever. So even answer politely, hello. That, yes, because they can feel that over the phone. Okay? So just that little bit when he talked about the email, I just wanted to add that. Be conscious how you answer the phone, make sure your ringer is off, and check your voicemail and your email every day if you're looking for a job.
I want to touch on that email. And you say, you know, check it, you know, a couple of times a day. I mean, Gmail is free, MSN, or all of them are free. Get you an email address, okay, that you're going to use for business. Your business. Your business. And that's the one you check. Don't worry about all the, you know, Gap emails or Target emails that's going to pookie44@gmail.com. You got your email, Carl Bentley @gmail.com or whatever, from a professional standpoint. So I have two. I mean, it don't cost you nothing. It's free. Take advantage of it. Yeah. Right?
What do you, I know I've talked about the cover letter. I also have questions about the resume. When you go into an interview, like, how can I say this, like, what would be the proper way, like, how would I come in here with my paperwork? Should I come in here, like, with a 2-page resume, or, like, how would you cover the resume standpoint, like how you were saying about, you know, just going in there for the interview? You don't want to have so much paper on you or like your certificates or whatnot. So what paperwork should I have?
Absolutely.
So, something as simple as this, okay? See how she's got this in here? It's okay for you to do that, okay? I mean, you might have a spiral thing like that, okay? Or your backpack, that's okay, all right? But pull it out and be prepared, okay? Now, she talked about the cell phone. It's important that the cell phone is off, okay, from a ringer standpoint. But it's okay if you ask the question, is it okay if I take notes on my cell phone? Ask that question. It's okay for you to do that. But if you don't, and you fiddling with your phone, they could be thinking that you are texting back and forth. And you're not. You're taking notes.
Yeah, because like I said too, also you have some people that look at your resume too, they feel like it's overcrowded. Or they feel like it's overwhelmed, like you have too much going on your resume.
You know, that's a whole nother subject, okay, but I'm gonna address it just a little bit. You ain't gotta list every skill in the world. You ain't gotta list every skill in the world. Try to keep your resume to no more than a page and a half, okay? Anything more than that, all right, people are not gonna pay attention to. I used to look at resumes and it's hard for me to say this, but anything that had more than 2 pages, I would get stacks of them like this back in the day. Okay, because that's how you interviewed people. You had to look at a resume. I get stacks of them. And anything that had more than 2 pages, that's the way I sorted them.
Yes, no. Yes, pile, no pile.
Yep. 2 pages, the 1-pagers went in another pile, okay, because those are the ones that I probably really want to talk to. But the 2 pages, you know, were the ones that, you know, could be questionable. A 3-page resume, you're wasting paper, you're wasting a person's time. One thing that I want to point out, and you know, as a person that did a lot of interviewing and looked at a lot of resumes, read your resume, your opening statement, your cover letter, and if it takes more than 15 or 20 seconds to get through, it's too long. Think about it. In today's attention span, somebody got to read something for 20 minutes. That ain't going to happen. They don't got 15 phone calls. And they have moved on from you. So make it important enough in that first 2, 3, 4 sentences, okay, that they want to read more. If you're applying for a chef job, you know, in that summary, my chef creations are, you know, renowned, you know, throughout the world. I enjoy cooking fish dishes. You know, pick something, okay, but make it interesting enough for them to go and understand what you've done to make that statement. Yes?
To go with what she was saying, I have 4 resumes. And the reason why I have 4 resumes is because I have so many different skills that I don't want to put extra jargon on to the potential employer on what they need to see. If you have jobs from 15 years ago, it's outdated. It doesn't apply to the skill sets you need. And if it does, note it, make it short. But all your additional jobs can be considered skills, or if they're asking if there's gaps in your resume, you can highlight that in the bulletin on your resume and make it short and simple.
Yep.
You can also use your skills and just put your skills down, because when employers look at your skill set, they care about what you can do for their business versus all your past history and jargon. So you want to look at it as you're your business, you know, you're your own business, you're a walking, talking business, and you represent yourself. So if you're applying for customer service, are you going to say that you work at Burger King? No, it doesn't apply, but customer service does apply as a skill in Burger King if it's valid for a position and if it's like before 10 years prior. So you just want to take out what's not important. And sometimes you do have to make 2 or 3 different resumes or 5 or 6 different cover letters, because how important is your success? If it's important to you to level up, it should be just as important not to have a generic resume or a cover letter.
Yep.
You should have mock interviews and practice. And as someone who is a professional, because I ask everybody who's important to me, especially if they're in a more enhanced level than I'm at in my life, what can I do to make it better? How can I shorten it up? So you just I've had really good job opportunities, and they were completely discarded because my resume was like a Bible.
Yeah, that's good.
One or two pages.
The hard way, I was in, like, it was like almost 10 years ago, I was in work first, and I had every job from the age of, I'm like, I had a lemonade stand, I worked for the summer youth program, and they was like, ma'am, you're not gonna put 20, no.
Recording
And,
stopped.
you know, my ego was a little hurt, but I had to do it like that.
Yeah.
And so you still getting it in, your lemon, I sold lemonade.
Yeah. Yeah, make that a conversation point.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You can still count it as experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
20 years of experience, marketing and sales.
There you go.
That's good. I got the best lemonade.
That's a little bullet point for your resume.
There you go.
I never thought of it like that.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
A job you did in the summer could be considered a volunteer program.
Yeah,
Yep.
Shut up.
absolutely. Yeah, all of that.
I don't use my sidewalk Sunday skills I learned from the state fair one day.
There you go.
Yes.
All right. Anything else, guys?
No, you are awesome.
Ladies,
Thank you
I
so
really
much.
appreciate your questions, and I appreciate you guys paying attention to me. And hopefully we imparted something on that you can take with you. The last thing I want to say is there's a lot of people that will help you, but you got to ask for it. They don't know that you need help unless you ask. Most people want to help. All right, thank you. Thank you all.
I want to thank everybody, and thank, of course, Mr. Bentley, but I also want to give a shout out to, I can't call her my right-hand man, but she's definitely the right hand. It's Angela Day. Can we give her a hand, please? So this wouldn't have happened also without her efforts. I also want to acknowledge our self-sufficiency coach working with T, but of course she works here with Cox. Tanya Walker there. Without you, there'd be no IT.
Tiffany.
Right.
Saves the day. Yep.
Tiffany was hooking us up. So thank you everyone for your attendance. Just as an FYI, to just let you know, T's in the process of moving, and so we're going to be in our own building across the street from Rebel now, and there's going to be additional classes that are going to be taking place at T. And we actually have a class called Professional Writing, facilitated by yours truly, that are going to address issues like cover letters, resumes, and emails, and all of that kind of stuff that was asked here today. And it's going to go far more in depth. We'll actually have resumes and actual cover letters for you to see. And to your point, yes, you usually don't want just one resume. You want multiple resumes that's targeted to different sector of what you're trying to address. So we'll go into all of that more depth. So definitely, if you haven't liked us on Facebook, look for Teaching Power Achieve on Facebook and like us there, because that's kind of the best place that we can make announcements. If you're a participant, obviously make sure you touch base with Miss Day so that she can keep you up to speed of like when the next sessions are coming up. So once we get settled into our new home, you'll see a greater acceleration of classes. And it'll be a combination of stuff that you can do online, because everybody won't be able to come to us, and we understand that. But it'll be a combination of things. Either we'll do it at a location here, maybe at Cox again or some other place, at our own home, but also online too. So we have the maximum exposure and people can take advantage of things. So for those of you who do not, those that were online, we'll make it available. The presentation that Mr. Bentley had, we can email that to you. It's a PowerPoint. We can make that available, and we'll work some magic online so that if you want to be able to download it from the website, we'll be able to do that too. Okay. All right, so this ends our formal presentation. Please eat our food. And
You know, I just wanted to, one thing, note that I wanted to talk about, there's a sheet on there about dress, what's appropriate. There's lots of places, okay, that you can go and get clothes, okay, for interviews. Jacket for Jobs is one of them. My sister's Closet Wayne County Community College has almost like a department store over on the east side there at the Samaritan Center, I think it is. And it's all FREE. All you gotta do is go there, try it on, make sure it works for you, and you walk out with it. So, I don't wanna hear the excuse, I ain't got nothing in my closet but blue jeans.
Mr. Carl, may I add something?
Yeah.
And what I teach in my etiquette school when I'm doing appropriate attire at the workplace, stay away from loud colors. You know, tone it down. I teach navy blue, black, gray, brown, and or tan. You can't come and I get it because I'm a loud person. I like that, but it's a time and a place. You need to get into the position first, and then show them your personal style.
Yeah. So there's resources for you. Again, the 4-letter word, help. There.
One last thing, I'm sorry, this is on my heart to share, okay? As a group, as individuals, we're all at different stages in our life. Some of us are going through really hard times. When you're job searching, when you're out there trying to seek employment, you're in survival mode. Self-esteem is low, self-confidence is low. You're feeling bad about yourself. It's really hard to even get up in the morning sometimes. So going and facing off with an employer for a respective position or job might be hard. So I just want to encourage you all to remember how important it is to believe in yourself, regardless of what you're going through, and understand the power of positive self-affirmation. Muhammad Ali was the king of that. I'm the prettiest, I'm the greatest, I'm the best, I'm the, all this. Do that. Look in the mirror and remind yourself. You might be going through a struggle right now, but before you go face off with that employer, it's okay to toot your horn. We don't have to be shy about who we are. We can present ourselves confidently despite our circumstances. They're not going to look at us and they're not going to see what's going on in our personal lives. They're not going to see where we're living. They're not going to see how we're living or any of that. They're going to see what we present and what we self-present. But if you have that inner confidence inside of you and you start speaking life into your situation and you start believing yourself and taking it by the horns instead of running from it, I promise you're going to present yourself in a confident way, and the employers are going to fall in love with you. I'm the queen of it. Trust me. Trust me. You're all beautiful, and know your worth. When you go in there, understand you are valuable, and you're valuable to an employer, and I promise you are. Okay? So that was it.
On that note, thank you guys. Appreciate it.